Top 10 shocking secrets King Charles kept from Camilla. Number 10, hiding details about their wealth. The royal family is under few requirements to disclose details of its wealth, but all I'm gonna say is, if you want to find out, you can. The family's communications with the government are exempt from freedom of information requests, and their official papers are kept secret by Britain's National Archives for at least 50 years. And the lack of transparency has led anti-monarchy groups, including the Republic, to call the monarchy an unaccountable public institution that has the power, secrecy, and influence to willfully abuse its position. Without a change, many details of the royal family's private wealth may never be known. Facts about the Duchy of Lancaster's offshore investments were leaked back in 2017, and those detailed roughly $13 million in offshore accounts. Other reports have suggested questionable foreign dealings or arrangements, with King Charles once being accused of offering to help secure a knighthood for a Saudi national in response to a donation to his charitable foundation. Number 9, Princess Diana's letter. Paul, one of Diana's former butlers, said that the princess predicted her own passing in a car crash. Spooky. Apparently, she was so scared 10 months before she passed that she wrote to Paul saying that there was a plot made by a member of the royal family and that her car brakes would be tampered with and she would suffer serious head injuries, and all of this would be so that the Prince of Wales could marry again. The letter she wrote, "I'm sitting here at my desk today in October, longing for someone to hug me and encourage me to keep strong and hold my head high. This particular phase in my life is the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure, and serious head injury in order to make the path clear for him to marry." So what do they do with this letter? Well, they keep it in a very safe place. And will Charles ever elaborate on this super suspicious note from Diana? Most likely not. But we do need the answers. On to number 8, illegitimate heirs. In 2012, a report surfaced that alleges the Windsors may not be the rightful heirs to the throne at all. The remains of Richard III were discovered 500 years after he passed away, and once examined, researchers learned that he had no living descendants. This implies there was an affair at some point that essentially broke the genetic chain of the monarchy, which could mean quite a few kings and queens weren't actually in line for the throne. Though this report is still just a rumor, it poses an interesting thought. What would happen if the monarchy was suddenly overthrown? We may never know. And despite its possible implications, the story of the broken genetic chain has left many royal fans laughing and shaking their heads. After all, who are we but mere mortals when compared to centuries-old tradition and customs? In other words, long live the royals, at least until further notice. But you can never be too careful. Perhaps Richard III was on to something after all. Number 7, distant mother. Being Queen of England while also being a mom had to have been a tough road to travel, and it's highly likely Queen Elizabeth did her best. However, there are numerous anecdotes, articles, and even books that reference the idea that perhaps her best just wasn't good enough. It seems that Prince Charles and Princess Anne, her oldest 2 children, may have had a very different mother than Prince Andrew and Prince Edward did, possibly to their detriment. Prince Charles was often left in the care of nannies, while his younger brothers were allegedly much closer to their mother. Prince Edward was rumored to have been able to get away with almost anything due to his close relationship with Queen Elizabeth, and that explains why, as an adult, he went on to become a successful TV producer and editor for the BBC after leaving the Royal Navy in 2001. On the other hand, Prince Charles's experience growing up may have had a lasting impact on him. One biographer has said that he still struggles with feelings of abandonment from not having enough attention from his mother when he was young. And it's speculated that this sense of being unloved caused him to be overly needy and even emotionally dependent on his former wife Diana and maybe even Queen Camilla. On to number 6, speaking of the unpopular queen. Camilla was not a popular choice among the general public, and she was also unpopular with royal family members. She was seen by many as an adulterer who had ruined Princess Diana's life. Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a little crowded, Diana famously said. However, Charles was unwilling to give Camilla up again. Charles and Camilla began making public appearances together in 1999, 2 years after Diana's passing. Her stock began to rise gradually, and the relationship between Charles and Queen Elizabeth's sons appeared to be accepted. Despite her opposition, the Queen Mother passed away in 2002. Charles and Camilla got married in a civil ceremony in 2005, and since Diana was thought to have been the Princess of Wales, Camilla has been referred to as the Duchess of Cornwall ever since she got married. Additionally, on top of that, when Charles took the throne, Camilla was supposed to be known as Princess Consort, but she finessed the title of Queen. And she has also gained popularity. Number 5, Prince Harry. In his most recent memoir, Spare, Prince Harry's portrayal of his stepmother is perhaps the most critical. Despite the fact that Charles and Camilla had been romantically involved on and off for decades, they did get married even after Harry and William begged Charles to reconsider. Prince Harry has not forgotten that Princess Diana referred to Camilla as the 3rd person in her marriage. Harry once said that the tabloids had portrayed Camilla as the villain, and in their union she was the 3rd person and needed to improve her appearance. The 2 brothers didn't consider it necessary and thought it would do more harm than good. They still wanted their father to be happy, but they never expected them to get married. Harry even stated because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image and the connection she was making within the British media, that made her dangerous. And there was a clear willingness on both sides to exchange information. Given that she was on her way to becoming Queen Consort and that she belonged to a family that was structured in a hierarchical manner, there were bound to be people or bodies discarded in the open. Harry claimed that Camilla and even his father used him or William to get better coverage in the tabloids for themselves. On to number 4, disapproval from the Queen. The extramarital affair between Charles and Camilla rocked the crown to its core. That is something that is well known by everyone. Queen Elizabeth was furious more than anyone, and for some time, no one was allowed to enter the palace, including Camilla, obviously. On to number 3, Prince William's thoughts on her. It's said that him and Harry were blindsided by their late grandmother's decision to approve of Camilla's title as Queen Consort. According to Christopher Anderson, a royal expert and author, the decision was driving a wedge within the royal family. Since their marriage, Camilla has remained a prominent member of the royal family. However, her stepchildren, Princes William and Harry, have maintained strict boundaries regarding their relationship. Angela Levine, royal author, says that Prince William has made it very clear that the new Queen Consort will never play his late mother, Princess Diana. Camilla was very direct about how his children were with her. William made it clear that Camilla is the wife of his father, but not a step-grandmother to his children. The royal couple's 3 children are aware that they have 2 grandfathers, but only 1 grandmother. She went on to say, William and Harry were respectively 20 and 23 when Camilla became their stepmother officially in 2005. That she was more of a sociable adult, that they occasionally saw at royal events. Camilla never assumed any responsibility for the children of the Cambridges, especially considering the closeness of Catherine's parents, Carol and Michael Middleton. On to number 2, just a mistress. Diana and Charles invited William and Harry into the world respectively in 1982 and 1984, but by 1986, Charles was already throwing down with Camilla. According to Morton and Camilla's biographer Penny Juror, who described Camilla as the most notorious mistress in the world, Diana and Andrew, Camilla's ex-husband, were aware of the affair. In 1986, Diana also started a series of affairs, one of which was with cavalry officer James Hewitt. During a 1995 meeting, Diana confessed to the romance, saying she revered and was enamored with Hewitt. The public perception of Camilla was incredibly negative following Charles and Diana's divorce, and even before the royal divorce, questions lingered about Charles's future relationships because the Church of England did not permit divorced people to remarry as long as their previous spouse was still living. Reporters who covered the royals at the time speculated whether Charles will inflict Camilla on the country as queen, calling it an unwelcome prospect. Charles wanted to introduce Camilla to the world as his girlfriend shortly after the divorce, and an effort that was waylaid by Diana's tragic passing. And finally, number 1, the royal family versus Camilla. Even though Charles and Camilla's relationship was very serious, Camilla was viewed negatively, but Diana was received with open arms. Fatal Smith claims that Charles had always treated Camilla as an equal, and Camilla was not wanted by the royal family as its princess. For one thing, she was thought to be an experienced woman, which made her a no-go for the royal family. And on top of that, she wasn't thought to be sufficiently aristocratic to be a princess. So it's no secret or surprise that Diana's two sons never truly accepted Camilla once Charles brought her into the family. And although William might be less vocal about his opinion on her, especially as a future king, Prince Harry never held back his feelings about the queen. But anyway, that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more news on your favorites. And I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.